Welcome to the Sales Stoppers Masterclass. We are going to be talking about 7 things today that you may be doing that's actually stopping your social media sales. There's a ton of other little things that we can fix, but these are the big things that stop so many people from making sales from their social media, specifically from their website. Now, drop it in the chat. How many of you would love to make more sales from your social media? Like, imagine if when you woke up in the morning, you had sales coming in from posts that you have done. That is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, the other thing is, let me ask you, how many of you have a website that's just an expense at the moment? Like, it's not converting, it's not an ATM machine at all, it's literally just an expense. And how many of you would love to be able to grow the sales that you're making at the same time as growing your social media? After all, if you have even just one person liking your posts and those people love your post, you could be potentially making sales no matter how small your following is. Now, I just want to say, number 7 is a huge mistake when it comes to sales copy on your website if you want it to convert. So stay to the end, obviously, if you want to know that one. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Faith Christensen. I am a social media strategist. And what does that mean? My goal is to help you to make more sales specifically from social media without having to post endless amounts of content, without having to be on social media all day. Now, if you're watching this because someone has tagged you or shared the video to you, I want you to know it's because they love you and they are really proud of you and they want you to make more sales as well. And if you are that person and you are new, drop new in the chat so I can personally welcome you to the community. Okay, let's jump in and let's get started. Number 1, leading people from social media to a homepage. So your link in bio being a homepage. Here's the thing. We live in a 3-second world. Now, according to Gary Vee's new book, he calls it the TikTokification of society, where everybody seems to have a much smaller attention span. So when you lead them to a homepage, specifically a homepage that's not optimized for sales, that is not optimized for WIFM, which is basically what's in it for them, then you are potentially losing people. If you were thinking about it this way, if you had 10 people who freaking loved one of your posts, so they go to your link in bio, and they see instantly, they land, they don't know what's in it for them. It's all about you. There's so many offers, so much text. This is where the 80% comes in. 8 people leave within 3 seconds. That's called a bounce rate on a website. So that's a huge mistake that a lot of people is making if they want to earn from their website. And I'm going to talk about how to fix it. Now, I also want to put a subset in here, meaning that if you're leading people to a free call from your social media, like that's your first step, first of all, you are losing an income stream. Second of all, it's a huge waste of your time because you are getting on calls potentially with people who only want to pick your brain for free things. They don't have a budget to pay you, or they're not really sure on what you do. So a lot of time is going to be wasted. So the fix for this is what we call a traffic tool. Now, this is a low ticket paid workshop. It's an instant way also for you to test if they are someone who's willing to put money in the game. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, what do you say in that? Now, in the Peaceful Profits, we go over the traffic tool in depth. We give you a strategic way to write it so it becomes a no-brainer conversion tool. But what do you say is very simple. What do you say in a call? And what are the objections that people have to buying your product? These are the things that we need to overcome in that workshop. Right? So that is a smart leverage of your time. But if you are growing your business and you are the person who's doing free calls, there is only so many hours in a day. And if you have ever tried to do call after call after call after call, you know how mentally exhausting it is to do people that way, to talk to people that way. However, when you do a paid workshop, you have the ability to have 10 people on, 50 people on, 1,000 people on as you grow. And also that workshop creates an income stream for you straight off social media. The next big mistake, which is leading people to a fluffy free lead magnet. This is a really controversial one, but hear me out. Tell me how many of you have ever opted in to get a free lead magnet and you never opened it. You meant to open it. It took a minute to get to your email. You forgot about it. So now you have like 50 free lead magnets that are just sitting there. The other thing is you may have opened it quickly and you may have had a quick glance and you say you're going to come back to it, but you never did. Now, if you've done these things, it's very like logical to think that your clients are doing them as well. Now, if you have a lead magnet, especially a lead magnet that's fluffy, that is not actually high value, that doesn't give any tangible results, then what happens is you lose people, right? Now, how many of you has also unsubscribed from emails? One, because you were getting too many, two, because they were too salesy, or three, because you simply didn't remember the person who was emailing you, because maybe you signed up for that lead magnet and you never actually opened it, so they never made an impression, so you didn't remember their name, right? Now, one of the smartest lead magnets that you create that has literally been working for over 10 years, you may have heard of it. It's a masterclass, it's a webinar, like all of those kinds of things, they still work today. But if you look at what the experts are doing, now, if you listen to Gary Vee, he calls it social selling. Literally, people are making millions of dollars because they are going live, giving value and selling strategically, right? Whether it be on TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram, it's all the same thing. The other thing is, if you're looking at experts like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, they are doing these masterclasses live straight to their social media platforms. So you will see them live on their Facebook pages. You will see them live in a group maybe. You will see them live on YouTube and Instagram and all of these different places. Now, that is not gated content, meaning you don't have to sign up. If you do sign up, obviously you get on their email list, you have the opportunity to become a VIP and keep the recordings, those kinds of things. But when they're doing the masterclasses live without gating the content, meaning without making people opt in for it, they are able now to get their sales content out of more people because they pin those posts on all the platforms, which means that when people come to their social media, they are actually seeing this piece of content. It gets them invested. It's a sales piece of content that makes them sales. So this is a leverage strategy. So if you're someone who is commenting on people's posts and they click on your name, they come straight to that piece of content and they get to know you, they get to see your expertise, and guess what? If you do it correctly, you get to sell them too. In the Peaceful Profits workshop that I do, this is what we talk about. This is what we call the masterclass strategy, and this allows you to turn eyeballs into buyers. Number 3 is adding links to your post, to your images, to your videos, to your comments. Instead of getting people to comment and get the links. So obviously, if you say comment X on social media, you're getting nowhere. That's called the clickbait algorithm. So there are sneaky ways to do this. But basically, what we are doing when we're adding links to our post, images, comment section, whatever, and I literally just tested this again, and my reach was halved at least, right, on that post that I did this to, and I put the links in the comments, answering people, not in the actual post, and I still noticed a huge reach decrease. Right? But basically, there's a couple of reasons why social media doesn't allow that. First of all, if you think of social media platforms, no matter which one it is, as a media platform, meaning an advertising platform, if you go to a TV station or a newspaper or you go to a magazine and you're like, buy my product for $39.95, that's an ad, you have to pay them. Social media is no different. But if you are someone who's a little bit more subtle and you have a story and you add value, well, now you have more chance of that TV station, the radio, etc., promoting you to their audience so that you can get more eyeballs. And it's exactly the same thing with social media. The other thing that comes into play here is when you add links to your post, there are so many scammers and spammers out there that social media platforms are restricting all links because, unfortunately, people are clicking on things that are getting them hacked, getting them scammed. So they've made a huge decrease in visibility for the ones that are marketing and not paying them, and also for the ones that are leading people off the platform where they can no longer market it to them. But also it's a case of trying to protect you in case the links you click on is actually spammy or scammy. So this is why ManyChat is so huge. Like if you think about ManyChat, for instance, if you're on Instagram, ManyChat allows you to go comment the word social. And when you comment that word, what happens is it fires off a message automation, which has an 80% open rate statistically on Instagram, as an example. But ManyChat is huge because it's not posting the link in the comments, it's posting the link in messages. Now, the amazing thing about that is when you send a message with a link, and especially when you send a personalized message, you are opening a conversation. When you open a conversation and someone answers you back, that is a massive signal to all the social media algorithms that you are homies. And what happens then is it gives you more visibility. So that's why ManyChat is so big and so expensive as you scale, because it actually harnesses and it actually works with the algorithm to get you more comments and to put the links in the conversations, in the DMs. One, because when you're in the social media scroll feed, it's easy to lose posts. So if you commented a link to someone and then they didn't look at it straight away, it's lost in their notifications. But when the message has been sent to someone, there's an unread message thing there. So it reminds them to look at the link, but it also is a place where they can easily access the link. It also is a place where you can search your messages for specific words. It might be, say, masterclass, or it might be workshop, for instance, when people have gotten the link to my workshop. Now I have a whole list of people to write down and interact with, to send a message to, or to answer stories. So this is why it's so massive for it. Now, Instagram did come out recently and say that when a bot is firing back a response, it may lower your reach. So one of the things is when people are commenting that keyword, you can just have it that you manually go in and use the comment section where people have commented that word or they've asked for information to now grow the reach of that post, because more comments equals more reach, but also to be able to take that comment and you can create other comments from it. One of the things that Gary Vee talked about in his new book, comments often get more visibility and more engagement than some of the posts themselves. So he showed one post that had like 1,000 likes on the post, but one of the comments that was in that post had 11,000 likes. Why? Because people are snooping the comment section and they really like that comment. That person got a bunch of back and forth, that got a ton of engagement. Now, of course, the visibility on that reel went up as well. The other thing that's massive is that person was responding to comments. They were taking the time to engage with their dream clients. One of the strategies that Gary Vee talks about, again, in that book is engaging with your dream clients. And he talks about 90 comments a day if you really want to grow your reach and you want to grow it fast. Number 4, selling so much on social media that people stop coming to your page, they unfollow you, they unsubscribe. Some people's emails and some people's page looks like I just walked into a used car lot and I got the sleaziest, slimiest salesperson. Every post is buy my product. Hey, buy my product. You need my product. Book a call. And literally, it's like being smashed. And if you think about it, nobody comes to social media to be sold to. They come to escape their real life. They come to be entertained. They come to be educated. So if you're not doing those things, guess what happens? People leave and they don't come looking for you. Now, another high signal to the algorithms, all of the algorithms, is if someone types your name in the search field, specifically looking for you, that means the next time they come on the platform, they are more likely to organically see your post because you are a creator they are looking for. So this is where we have to learn how to tell stories strategically, to learn how to soft sell. Hard selling on a social media platform is going to get your ass into trouble with visibility every single day of the week, because once again, their goal is to keep people on their platform. If your content is not keeping people on their platform, meaning people are scrolling away from it quickly, then you get lower visibility. Also, if your content is designed to sell and all that it is doing is selling, then obviously people are going to be going away. Another signal to the algorithm that you're irrelevant, don't show your content. So This is where you need to learn how to work with the algorithm. Now, I had someone say to me all the day, why do they make it so hard to learn? It's literally not hard. It's about testing, posting something, seeing what the visibility is, looking at the comments, looking at what others are doing and seeing the reach on that, and then adapting your strategy. Now, of course, you can go into social media programs and you can try and learn the algorithm, but there's so many algorithm changes constantly, but there are 5 key pillars that never change. These key pillars, 2 of them, Instagram actually just came out and said are massive. He also talked about the 3rd one a couple of weeks ago. These are the pillars that all the social media platforms are built on. When you understand these pillars, you have control over the algorithm. Now, if you don't want to play to the algorithm, cool, don't play to it. But here's the thing, be willing to not get reach then. Because if you are someone, let's say, for example, you want to be on Instagram and you want to sell on Instagram, but you don't want to learn reels and you don't want to learn like hooks and all that kind of stuff. Guess what's going to happen? You're not going to get visibility. So you either have to learn to work with the algorithm, or you're going to have to just accept you have no visibility. And literally, sometimes if you have no visibility, there isn't a reason to post. So you have to then take control of the algorithm. Okay? Number 5, generic, vague sales copy where you're not speaking to a specific person. So let's just say I do click on your link. I loved your social media. I click on your link. By some miracle on your homepage, I made it to one of your sales offers. But then I come to the sales offer and it's very generic. It's like mums who want their baby to get to sleep. And that's what your program's about. However, when you start to write sales copy, with keeping one type of person in mind. So for instance, you may have a getting a baby to sleep program. Now, there are different types of mums, which means that if you have a generic get your baby to sleep sales copy page, or you have a get your baby to sleep as a stay-at-home mum who needs to get the chores done, or who needs to, be revitalized, or you have a get your baby to sleep for a corporate mum, or for a busy, a working mum, for instance. Those are 2 different target markets. There are going to be different triggers to buy. There are going to be different emotional pain points. Right? A stay-at-home mum might want to just be able to cope with the other 6 kids she had. Whereas a working mum needs that baby to get to sleep because she has to work a long day tomorrow. She has to be bright. So when I come to people's sales pages, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is the sales copy is so vague. And it is so generalized, it's not hitting people's emotional pain points, and thus it doesn't copy, like it doesn't convert. The other thing I see is it's not using client words. Now, if you are new and you don't know what people are saying, look at your social media. What are the words, the exact words, not trying to be clever, because number 6 is using industry jargon, right? But how can you use the words you're seeing on social media in your sales copy? Now, if you don't have people commenting maybe right now, go and look at other big names in your industry. Look at their comment section. In fact, I did a prompt in Perplexity, which is the AI software that I use, and I pasted a whole bunch of comments that came from other experts in my field, and I asked it to create hooks for my reels around all of those comments, to summarize the key points and then to create hooks. So that makes a huge difference when you understand the exact words they're saying and you say those exact words, because that gets them to emotionally connect and go, oh my God, is she in my head? She's talking to me. Now, number 6, using industry jargon that they don't understand. So I see a lot of people, especially in the coaching industry, using words like EFT or RTT, or all of these kind of abbreviations or jargon or slogan words that normal people don't understand. And here's the thing, most people, like 90% of people, will not ask you what that means. They will literally just scroll past because they didn't understand the post. So it's really important, like going back to what we were saying about using the client's words, think about a 6-year-old reading your sales copy. Can they make it understand? Like, do they understand it? That's what you need to think about. When you start using industry jargon and you're not talking to someone else in your industry that understands what that jargon is, boom, you've lost potential sales. Right? Now, number 7, this is massive. Making your sales pages and your website all about you. If by some miracle you get someone who goes to your link in bio, they want to have something that instantly talks about them. But when I lead people to a homepage, a lot of the homepages I see are very me focused. So this is me, this is me, this is me, I this, I that. And what happens is instantly in the TikTokification world that we live in, you are losing people. When you make your pages all about me, there's a perception nowadays of maybe it's arrogant. Right? But when you start and your sales pages, so what's the fix to this? When you're talking about a specific thing, you lead them to a specific sales page. So for instance, with this here, I'm talking about my Peaceful Profits workshop. This workshop is designed to help you structure all of this, to help you have a plan that is simple and easy to follow. So with this post, I'm leading people straight to my Peaceful Profits workshop. So that's the same thing that I recommend for you. But if people get to my Peaceful Profits workshop and it's like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, and it's not about them and it's not benefits focused and it doesn't have emotional sales copy, because here's the thing, people buy based on emotion and justify on logic quite often, especially when it comes to women. So when you have a sales page that is very benefit focused, especially the first section before they have to scroll too far, we call that before the scroll, now you have something that converts. If you have a video on there and it's very benefit driven, like a 5-minute webinar, for instance, again, you are increasing your sales copy. The other thing is people think they need to have this huge section on them. But realistically, the actual conversion components are 3 things. The emotionally compelling sales copy relevant to them. The second thing is the testimonials and the number of testimonials. Now, not the old school testimonials where a picture of someone and text, because there are so many people these days that are making that shit up and people know it. But when you have the ability to screenshot a comment on your post, or you have an ability to screenshot a message, maybe you white out the face and like the photo a little bit so people can see that it is a screenshot of social media, but you don't necessarily identify that person. These kinds of testimonials, video testimonials, are the ones that have the conversion rate to them. Now, if you also have a lot of them mixed through the page, now you have a much better chance of conversion, because again, it's all focused on the person, and your social credibility comes from others, not a blurb or a whole big section that you write about yourself. So let me just recap these again really quickly for you. Number 1, leading people to a homepage on social media is 100% for the large majority of people, statistically costing them 50 to 80% plus of their sales right now. Now, if you're also leading people to a free call, you are wasting money and losing a potential income stream. Number 2, linking people in, like putting links in your posts, your images, your comment section. Instead, get people to identify themselves. So like for the replay of this, I said, who would love a replay? I didn't say comment the word replay because that triggers the clickbait algorithm. I said, who would love a replay? They drop replay in the comments and I get back to them with the replay. So this is how, again, it's about working smarter, because if you don't want to pay them, guess what? You better be good at working smarter and following the rules of engagement, right? Now, we also talked about in there about how ManyChat is massive because of comments, and how comments are now becoming the new content. So when you get a comment, you can click reply, you can do a video reply to that comment. You can even see comments on other people's posts, screenshot them, and maybe you want to white out the name, but you could do a reel specifically and put that photo on answering that question. Because if one person has that question, quite often a lot more have that question. So there's a huge hack for you late in the game. But when you get people, remember, conversion comes from connection and DMs is where the connection can be built. So when you get people in your DMs and you give them the link in their DMs, you're making it easier for them to come back to it. You're also giving yourself the opportunity to be able to identify who was interested in your product, to create a list so you know who to interact with first, and you know whose stories to answer first if you're really time poor. So this starts to get a relationship being built and they can access the link. It reminds them of the link without going, did you get the link? Hello, the link. Number 3, leading people to a fluffy lead magnet. You want to have, if you're doing free content, you want your free content to be as expandable as possible, as scalable as possible. Get as many eyeballs on it as possible if you're someone who actually wants to make more sales. Right? Number 4, selling so much on social media that people are not looking for you, they scroll past you. Number 5, generic, vague sales copy that's not converting anyone. Number 6, using industry jargon instead of using the words they use to describe their problem. And number 7, making your pages all about you. Now, these are just a few of the really big ones, but if you're someone who knows you want to create sales from social media, you want to have peaceful profits. I have a peaceful profits workshop. Now, this is something that I run live quite regularly. It'll run live again in February, so you can jump on and work with me live and get the answers to the questions and get a plan built for yourself. But it shows you a very simple strategy to make more sales on social media so you can earn more money. It also shows you a strategy that allows you to have time freedom, that once it's set up, your only goal is to deliver the content and to go live and, do your social media stuff. We also talk about the tech behind it, like how can we simplify your tech? We talk about social media. What are the 2 things that you can do on social media to grow your reach faster? Let's be honest. If TikTok shuts down, there is a lot of traffic that is about to pivot and come to Facebook and Instagram as an example, which means that yes, there's going to be more eyeballs on the content. There's also going to be a lot more creators, maybe creators that are a little bit more experienced than us, putting content on the platform. So there's going to be more competition. So you need to know how to stand out and have your message stand out. And that is what we talk about. We also talk about the 2 styles of marketing and how to use them in your favor. Now, if you go VIP, and you don't want to wait to February, if you go VIP, there is a replay in there of the last workshop I did where you can sit down, listen to the replay, pause it, and complete it. And then when we come live, you can come on live with a plan and get me to help you with it. Okay? In the replay, we also have, in the VIP, we also have an extended section on the tech part that we use. Because if you have one software for your emails, and you have one software for your sales funnels, you have one software for your websites, and one software to do, it just becomes so many things that can break. And that's where we need to simplify and make it streamlined and cost effective. Because if you don't run a cost-effective business, it's more money you have to earn in order to have money in your bank account. This is what the Peaceful Profit's all about. So there's a whole extended tech section in the VIP if you want to go in and to simplify your tech, to simplify your social media, to know what's working right now when it comes to social media, that if TikTok shuts down, you can still win, okay? If you're interested, drop peaceful in the comments and I'll get you the link. And this masterclass has helped you. Sit down, go back through it, because there's literally so many nuggets that I have dropped here that are massive for you being able to make more social media sales. Because if you are going to be on social media, why not make sales from the get-go? Even if you only have 1 or 3 people commenting, or you have no one commenting and they're just liking, and you have 200 views, how can we monetize from the get-go and do it in a way that's strategic and leveraged and helps us earn more, but also allows us to have time freedom? Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, by all means, drop them in the comments. And if you found this valuable, please share it or tag someone in the comments so that we can help them to earn more, work less, and live happy. Have an amazing day. Bye for now.